Obviously, Marvel Knights was massive for revitalizing Marvel in that latter half of the '90s with that whole bankruptcy and all of that was going down. So was
Yeah.
that a thing that they either approached yourself and Joe with, or was it like something you guys pitched to them? Like how was that conceptualized as far as Marvel Knights? And it did end up being a huge success. I know you mentioned Christopher Priest. You mentioned it's the Black Panther. You got obviously Daredevil, all of that good stuff. So what happened with that? How was that a thing? Was it one of those things like, hey, we're about to go bankrupt here, take it, fix it, and do? What was the whole process there?
So the guy that owned Wizard magazine, Gareb Shamus, um, he was friends with Joe Calamari, who was the president of Marvel Comics at the time, and Joe was looking for ways to bring excitement to the company. He says, "Look, we're in a spot." And because we dealt so much with Wizard, Gareb said, you should get Jimmy and Joe up here and give them a line of books and let them have some fun with it because they know how to promote themselves. And I got the call from Joe and Calamari, and Joe and I went up, and he pitched us an idea. It wasn't called Marvel Knights. We came up with that.
Okay.
We were just going to do 4 books for them, but we wanted to label it so it was different than their regular line. So we came up with Marvel Knights. But he asked us what we'd be interested in. Of course, we told him, he proceeded to tell us, can't touch X-Men, can't touch Wolverine, can't touch this, can't touch that. But they had 2 books that were being canceled. Daredevil and Punisher were both being canceled at the time. And we knew that our buddy Kevin Smith, the film director, wanted to write Daredevil. So we said, well, we want Daredevil and we want to do it. Joe and I want to do the art with Kevin writing it. And then we said, we also want the Punisher because I worked on a ton of Punisher and I just felt like I knew the character. I understood his motivation. And then they said, what about the 2 other books? And Joe and I were both fans of the Fantastic Four. And we said, well, we love Black Panther and nobody's doing anything with Black Panther. Mm-hmm. So if we could have Black Panther, that'd be awesome. And we also want the Inhumans. And we did get a little side eye, like, why would you want those 2 books? But we had a plan. And that's how that started. So they agreed to this contract where they would give us a certain amount per book. We had to get the book out every month, otherwise we'd be fined. But if we got the book out on time, they give us a bonus. So it was like a little of this, a little of that. We said we needed to be in the offices, so we needed a couple of offices. And because I've been up on the penthouse a couple of times, I said I would like the penthouse, so we have our own entrance, kind of like up there. The elevator only went up to 12 at Marvel, so you had to go past the secretary to get up to our office. But when we got up there, we repainted the place. And we made it like the MTV offices. Like we put giant TVs, we put drawing boards in there, and we made it the place we worked out of. And we had our creators come, and they can work up there if they wanted with us during the day, or if they wanted to stay at night. With the penthouse came the rest of the roof, and if you went on the roof, it was the 13th floor. You can look up and see the Empire State Building was right there, and so a lot of good reference material when you're drawing those characters jumping around on roofs.
Yeah.
But they gave us a penthouse, and then we told them we want to launch all the books in 1 month and do a title per week, and then continue with that for the rest of the thing. Because we just felt like if we're going to do something new, let's make people buy the whole set. Let them. If you're going to buy Marvel Knights, if you're going to try Daredevil, but you don't like Inhumans, but we hope that you may give Humans a try. And we made it so people, how people collect, they want to get each one. So each week we had a new book launch. And right before we launched, guys like Kevin Smith would go out and do publicity at late night TV. And Joe and I were doing TV, we were doing the day show, morning shows in New York. And we were promoting the line, like this is a new line. We got computer coloring, which a lot of people didn't really use at that time. And, I said the production on the books are going to be better. The art's going to be better. The stories are going to be crazy. And with the help of Wizard magazine, because Gareb invested, threw us into that little fire pit. We made sure he promoted the line, and then the line launched, and it was a monster.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to head over to Rippaverse.com to check out our comic book company. We have books, plenty of merchandise, and even some glorious animations from Rippaverse Studios. Next up, possibly our most anticipated book thus far, Yaira.